Hey everybody, happy Thursday. And I feel like I'm reading a speech because I printed out our questions today. I'm trying to figure out a new way to film. So I'm trying to get creative. Yesterday I tried to do it on the actual camera on my computer and it was like, I'm disconnecting, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going back to the way that I used to do it, but then I printed, it's not very green, I'm sorry. I printed the questions today, as well as a journal topic from Carly, so thank you so much for giving me that, Carly. And I went to my P.O. box and I got a wonderful birthday card and beautiful, sweet letter from Carly, and I also got one from Emma Cupcake, so thank you so much for saying that. That just really made my day. And I'm going to post some pictures of that on Instagram, so if you're not following me on Instagram, maybe you want to. It's Kati Morton 1, because the other Kati Morton is some lady in Africa, and so apparently my name is very popular. Okay, so on Thursdays, I'm on Twitter. And I have 3 questions today as well as a journal topic, so let's get cracking. So the first question is, can sensitivity go away, and if so, how? Now, I really want to talk about this because I feel like it just keeps coming up, whether it's people online asking questions similar to this, or clients of mine, or situations that are going on with my friends in my life. And being sensitive for some reason, or being emotional, or being a touchy-feely person has for some reason been given this horrible stigma that it's like terrible, and it means that, you know, you're too sensitive and it's a bad thing, and it means that it makes it hard for other people to be in your life. And I really would encourage each of you to think about why being sensitive is so bad. I would encourage you to journal about this. I would encourage you to spend some time thinking about what you've been told about it, and then questioning what you've been told about it and figuring out what you really believe. Because I personally, and this is just me, this isn't, you know, anything else other than how I feel about it, I think being sensitive is a great quality. And it actually means that we're really good at reading people. We tend to be really thoughtful and caring. And doesn't the world need more of that? I feel like the world's too insensitive and not personal and hurtful without even thinking about it, because I didn't even think it all the way through, where we know those of us that are sensitive, we think things all the way through. And I think learning how to hone that skill, because I think being sensitive is a skill, how to hone that skill to better suit yourself. Obviously, there are going to be times that being sensitive isn't helpful. Like I personally struggled when I worked in this hospital. Some of my coworkers were more harsh, and I had trouble with that at the beginning, but I learned how to manage it for myself by working in my own therapy, by recognizing situations that I don't need to take personally, and why, because oftentimes it's other things going on with somebody else, it's something else happening I know nothing about. Most of the time it has nothing actually to do with me. So it can help to recognize that and to gain some insight as we begin to think about what makes us sensitive, why is that a good thing, when is it not good or helpful for us, and how can we manage that? Because I don't want to say, oh, you know, we have to have sensitivity go away, because then we're just all these cold, hard, like cardboard people. And that's not what life's all about. Life's about loving, feeling. It's filled with emotion and the ups and downs. That's what life is. And so I think learning about it and recognizing it in ourselves is the best course of action. And if you disagree, let me know below. But I think that that's something that we can all work on, because I know many of us are sensitive people, and I think that's a great thing. That's why I have the best fans ever and the best followers. Our community is like amazing. Everybody's jealous, right? Okay, question number 2. What should you do if your negative thoughts come mostly at night right before sleeping? What ways can you distract yourself? Now, I know almost all of you struggle at night. That's the worst time. And you know why? Because shit isn't going on, and it's quiet, and the lights are out, and the only thing that's still going is our mind, and it makes us feel crazy. And so there are a couple things you can do. And I even have a video about how to sleep better. And if you haven't checked that out, I think you can just search on YouTube, Kati Morton sleep, and it'll come up. And it's a funny one where I'm like this, and there's a little a sheep. So yeah, I can't miss that thumbnail. But better ways to manage in the night there are a couple things. First of all, I prefer personally to journal or color or do those things at night, like right before I go to bed. If you don't like to do it in bed, then I would encourage you to do it so that you're getting out all those thoughts and all that stuff, and then you're going to sleep. That helps me personally. Everybody's different. Some people will say, oh, it stirs it up. But for me, it's helpful to like, get rid of it out of my mind. It's on paper. And then I can sleep better. So that's one thing, doing your little tools and helpful things right before you go to bed. Another thing that I do if I'm really having trouble sleeping or there's something on my mind, there's nothing I can do, is and I may have said this in my sleeping video, but I do it, and that's why it comes to mind. I plan out my dreams. I dream up a story. Like I wake up and I'm in Mammoth and everything is amazing. The snow is falling. It's so quiet. I can only hear the crackling of the trees. You get where I'm going with this. And before I know it, I'm asleep and I'm actually in the dream I've created. Now, I don't know if that's just my own mind and my own ability to do that, but it can really help. And it doesn't hurt to try it, right? We don't know till we try it. And it helps keep us distracted. So those are some of the distraction techniques that can work and things that can actually help us. And the more we journal and the more we do our hard work, the easier it will be at night. But in the meantime, those are some helpful things. Now, I'm going to ask you, if there's something that you do that really helps you at night, would you let us know below? I also find a nice distraction thing is going through Instagram and just searching through like your feed, like your hashtag feed. And you can just look at like different, or you can get on Pinterest and look at different pins. You can look at, people traveling, whatever, and that can be a distraction until you're so tired, you set your phone down and you go to sleep. But let me know what works for you. Share your information because that's really helpful and everybody's different, right? I can only give you examples of what's worked for me or what I've told clients. So, I'm limited. Okay, question number 3. Is it possible to recover quickly from an eating disorder? I recovered in roughly 10 months, but I feel fake because it was so fast. Everybody's different. Don't let any kind of person or a voice in your head tell you that any kind of recovery, even if it's not from an eating disorder, any kind of thing that we're struggling with, whether it's depression, anxiety, self-harm, eating disorder, or anything in between. There's no time frame. Everyone is different. If you worked your ass off and you processed through all the shit that's been going on, the reasons that you're using your eating disorder or self-harm or whatever, if you've worked through that, because that's the real core of how we get better, is we work through the shitty things and the things that happen. And it may not be this big traumatic event, but it's like, I really struggled during this time. I felt like I didn't have support, and so I turned to this. It could be anything. But working through that, figuring out why we actually use the behavior, it can be really quick if we're just working our ass off. For some of us, it takes a really long time, though. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on how much time we have to give to our recovery. It depends on how much time we've been in our eating disorder. It depends on how much support we have. It depends on how well we click with our therapist. There are a lot of factors, and your process is yours alone. It's no one else's. So if 10 months was enough and you feel better, then you're better. Just enjoy it. Like celebrate, jump for joy. That's really exciting. I'm really proud of all the work you've done. And yes, recovery is a process. So there may be ups and downs. You may have to go back in for some booster sessions, but don't forget that all the work you've done is still there. You're not going back to square one, and 10 months is what you needed. So give yourself a pat on the back, okay? Now, journal topic from Carly, thanks Carly, it's a quote, and it's from Unknown. Apparently, nobody knows who said this, but I'm saying it now. Incredible change happens in your life when you decide to take control of what you do have power over instead of craving control over what you don't. And I really like this. I'd rewind it back and listen to this again because it's kind of part of the Al-Anon or AA where they say, give me the courage to change the things I can, and I'm going to mess this up. It's been a long time since I've gone to one of those open meetings. But anyway, the wisdom to know the difference is talking about recognizing what you actually have control over and what you actually don't. And being okay with that difference and recognizing it instead of, craving control over the things that you don't, because that will just drive us crazy. So I would encourage you to journal about what that means for you. What are things that you find yourself constantly fighting to get control over, even though if we think about it logically, we actually have no way of making that happen, getting control. And then what are the things that you can actually change in your life to help you feel better? Because it's all about what we can do, right? So I think this is a really great quote. So I would rewind it back. Let's do it again and then journal about it. Okay? I love you all. Tomorrow is finally Friday. So I'll be on Facebook. Ask your questions there using the hashtag KatieFAQ, and I'll see you then. Bye!